Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. I'm here with the funniest human being in the world, Greg Romero Wilson. We got McCorkle coming, we got Don Fry. We're gonna have a longer show. If you guys need to bail out, we have John Dodson coming, we have Lori Murphy, because I might break it into two shows just because it's been a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a lot to do today because I'm traveling tomorrow. So but I'll stick with you as long as I can, buddy.
Thank you. Speaking of traveling, dude, so last week I did a cruise, right? And for some reason they flew me from Jamaica. I flew from LA to Jamaica, got on the ship, went to the next port, which was in Mexico. I did 12 shows, then back to Texas, and then back to Jamaica for 3 days. And then they flew me from Jamaica to LA with a layover in New York, right? Which it actually makes no sense, right? I go.
So wait, just one second. So they book the travel for you? They just send you the tickets?
1,000.
And is there one airline they tend to use more than any other?
No. But
it's all over the place. You never know what you're gonna get.
So they put me in like JetBlue, and so before they're like, hey, so the flight's delayed out of Jamaica. They're like, hey, you're probably not gonna make your layover. But don't worry, you could stay in Jamaica for the night. We'll put you up. But if you get to New York and you miss the layover, that's on you. We can't give you a hotel in New York. I'm like, well, I guess I'll stay in Jamaica for a night, right? Why not?
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, by the way, okay, so the flight actually is on time. You get to go. So I get to New York and all the JetBlue flights are canceled, like out, like the rest of the night. No more flights, right? So then
why though? Why would they just? Because it wasn't a weather thing.
They said it was a weather thing.
Was it because of the smoke? Was it because of the smoke? They couldn't see anything or something?
They wouldn't tell you why. But so then I wait online.
God, I hate that.
And they go, by the way, JetBlue doesn't do hotels because it's a weather thing, right? I go, it's 80 degrees. They're like, go, the weather up there. I'm okay. So then they're like, go wait over there and we'll email you. We have the best team that money can buy, and we'll email you. But it could be a couple days. I'm like, you want me to wait over here for a couple days? This is what they tell me, right? So
that doesn't sound like the work of the best team money can buy.
So now
that sounds like the work of no team being on call. That's what that sounds like.
So I'm like, well, why don't you do hotels? Oh, we don't do hotels. But they're like, here's a $12 voucher. I'm like, great. So that'll get me a water,
exactly. At the airport, that's good for one Snickers.
So I go, all right, you do vouchers, but you don't do hotels, right? Why don't you he goes, yeah. He goes, I can give you 100 vouchers. I go, all right, I want 100 vouchers. He goes, oh, I was kidding. I'm like, oh, this is the comedy show now? So then the guy's like, look, I'm not the person to yell at, right? So I'm like, oh, who do I yell at, right? By the way, John Dodson just showed up. He is 2 hours early for the podcast. John Dodson is 2 hours early for the podcast.
We'll take as much John Dodson whenever we can get him.
But we're going to take him anyway.
My bad.
It's all good.
I can hop back out.
It's all good. It's all good. So I love it. All right, I'll finish the story. John Dodson, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Congratulations, dude. I watched your bare knuckle box. Have you been following this guy, Greg?
I mean, when he was in the UFC, when he was in MMA, not in bare knuckle.
No, he left the UFC to go to bare knuckle boxing. I thought he's crazy. The dude has been murdering everybody. Like, nobody can even get out. Like, 30-second, he just goes out there and throws 100 punches in 9 seconds, and people are just cowering. Like, ex-UFC fighters. Like, is this your calling, John?
It seems like it because it seems like I'm more of a devastating monster of being a 4-foot terror, just biting everybody's ankles, no longer punching their kneecaps. I can punch them in the guts now. So it's okay. Let's go.
How did you get so good at bare knuckle boxing?
It's a long time of beating on my brother and then him beating me up.
I'm very familiar with this narrative. I have 4 brothers, so I'm very familiar with this.
Dude, he's not kidding. His brother does bare knuckle boxing too, Greg, and his brother had never fought before. And you can kind of tell because he keeps his chin straight up in the air. But he wins too. Your brother, can you tell your brother to put his chin down?
No, because his favorite fighter is to this day still, which bugs the hell out of me, Eddie Wineland.
Oh, so he likes to have oh yeah. So
that was his whole inspiration to fighting. He goes, "Nah, I can fight like him." And then he's like, "Dominic Cruz does the same thing." I was like, "You're not them. You're not either one of those guys." For like 20 years, like, you've been sitting there training me for all my fights and helping me out and stuff. He literally kept his chin up, hands down. I was like,
oh, that's a tough combination.
But he's been winning. Now,
I know.
Now you got a fight coming up, Knuckle Mania 3, right?
No, I'm fighting. Knuckle Mania 3 was in February. So
Okay,
now I'm fighting for the world title for this one.
World title.
Yeah.
Now, who's this guy you're fighting?
His name is J.R. Riz, so he's another little Filipino dude. They didn't like the, black on black crime, and then they didn't like the UFC on UFC crime. So they're just like, hey, you going to get another Filipino. And I was like, Filipino on Filipino crime? They're like, well, wait, you're Filipino? And I was like, what the hell? It says so in my bio, people. Like, I know you're going to forget that I look so spectacular and dark-skinned, and I'm like on the light-skinned clan, but I'm Filipino.
Wow.
There you go.
Like, well, I guess we're going to give you a Filipino dude.
Now, are you excited for that? I mean, how do you prepare for this fight?
Being a brick wall day in and day out. And then since the guy's my height, I have my kids as bar partners. And I'm making sure I'm knocking them out left and right. One time after another time.
I was gonna ask if you're. I was gonna try to phrase the Filipino and black, and I was like, the ladies want to know down there, is it Filipino or more black? But I couldn't figure out how to ask the question without.
I think you just said it.
It's okay. I just tell them, like, every time they're like, "You're Filipino and black." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, you want to feel a nigga?" And they're like, "Wait, what'd you say?" You want to feel a nigga? Yeah.
There it is. Okay, I'm glad you said it. We can't.
That's perfect. So Don Fry is here. Don Fry, are you traveling to Vegas?
He can say it.
Yeah, I'm traveling today, partner. Traveling today. Yeah, I can't play for long.
Are you going to Las Vegas?
What a run.
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I've got to go. Then I got to go to North Carolina, and I got to go to Chicago.
Nice. Well, I got a show tonight in Las Vegas. So you want to come tonight?
Now everybody knows that.
I'm at the Strat tonight. If you want to come.
What time?
8:00.
What time?
8:00.
Oh shit! I landed 8:20. How long's your show?
I go on.
I landed 8:20. How long's your show?
8:30. I go on at 8:30 or tomorrow night. 8:00. By the way, so you're wearing a Trump hat through the airport. How many looks do you get?
You're damn right.
How many looks do you get from people?
I get good looks. I get happy smiles, and I get thumbs up. I've never had anybody say anything negative to me.
What about the guy?
Well, you're Don Fry. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, yeah, get down, anybody.
If anybody said anything to you, Don, it better have been like, hell yeah, America.
Exactly. Wait. You got him, Don. You know it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do that to Don.
Well, now that we have both of you guys, I know we got both of you for a short time. Don, predictions for this weekend. Volkanovski versus Yair. Who wins this fight? Dodson, you go first.
I think Volkanovski. Who goes first?
Forget it.
Don.
Well, you do, Don. You do.
We gotta talk about this.
I'm sorry.
You speak, we all listen.
All right, so he thinks. All right. So all right, John Dodson.
I think Volkanovski won the last time. and he got cheated.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think so too. Dodson, who do you like in this fight?
Be honest with you, I'm gonna go with the wild card with Yair.
Why?
Really?
Just because of the fact that he is so unpredictable. He can go out there and do some fancy kicks, footworks. I think Volkanovski might be thinking that he's going to edge it out with his perfect boxing, but at the same time, that's going to be what's going to be his like downfall. He's going to try to go outbox a kickboxer or a taekwondo kid who's going to sit there and throw a shit ton of kicks at him and killing his legs.
But he never seems to get hurt for some reason. Like, has Volkanovski ever been hurt?
He's been in trouble, but I haven't seen him hurt.
Yeah, he's been in trouble. Greg, who do you like in this fight?
Volkanovski, absolutely. I think he's on. I mean, he wants that belt back. He wants to be undisputed. I think it's his time to come back and prove it that he never should have lost it.
I'm going with you. I think that Yair is one of those guys that like looks amazing against like the number 2 and 3 and 4 guys, but every time he fights that top guy, he doesn't. Something happens to him. McCorkle, Sean McCorkle.
What's up, man?
Who do we like this week? Volkanovski versus
who's fighting? The cards are so watered down. Don't even. It's like I think the pay-per-views are fight nights when I look at the card. I really do.
Okay, so it's the biggest. It's allegedly the biggest fight of the year. It's
this
UFC
weekend.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Every fight is. Wait, every fight is until it happens, and then all of a sudden it's not.
I was gonna say, I think it's the biggest fight of the week.
I'm glad we're all excited and hyping this fight. No one even knows about it.
Before we talk about any more fights, I just want to ask John Dodson one thing, because we got a UFC fighter who's transferred over into bare knuckle, and one of the things we've talked about, or I know I've brought it up a bunch of times, is how difficult is it for you to turn off the other tools when you're in there boxing, because you spend so many years training to get the takedown and use the kicks and to go into the wrestling and all those other things, and now you got to shut those tools down and just use your fists. How hard is it mentally to make that transition mid-fight, like when you're fighting?
I don't ever know if you paid attention to my fights. I don't really throw kicks. All I ever do is punch people in the mouth and continuously push them against the cage and uppercut them from dirty boxing. So I just hold the back of their head with bare knuckles and still punch everybody in the mouth.
Okay, so for you, it's not a tough transition at all. You're not worried about
there's no transition. What you're saying is, all you do is just set my whole style, John. Throw punches and hold people. That's it. That's it. The way it goes. You're like,
you basically just found a better. You basically just found a better venue for your style.
Exactly, because I don't take people down. Everyone tries to take me down. I'm like, stop cuddling me. No, you're not going to take me down. And then they start throwing kicks at me. I'm like, why'd you throw a kick? You gave me a present.
Yeah, the crazy part is that he was a state champion in high school, too. He was a wrestling state champion. Now, John, my question is, how is bare knuckle boxing getting this money? Because it's like $5 for the app for the month, and they're paying people, everyone that goes, like, I don't know, probably not you, because you were paid really, really well in the UFC, allegedly. I mean, it seemed like that. Or maybe, were you? Are you getting more for bare knuckle or more for UFC?
So they do like how boxers do. They give you a whole fight purse. So there's no win money and no lose money, or you get show money and no win bonus. So you just get the whole fight purse and you go out there and perform. So essentially, I'm getting paid more to fight just to show up there. You know what I mean?
Okay,
but
there you go.
Sean, will you explain that to me? What does he mean by that?
Well, I would assume in bare knuckle boxing, they're probably sharing more than 3% of the profits with the fighters, would be my guess, as opposed to the UFC. But I actually met John Dodson before. He probably doesn't remember. I met John Dodson one day. He was, I'm not going to say he was under the influence of anything, but was in Las Vegas, and he was dancing like I've never seen anyone dance before, like the happiest I've ever seen anybody. And then a guy walked in, and John was a head taller than him. Then the guy that walked in, I was like, dude, I saw him from a distance. I was like, who's that sitting next to Dodson? Because I said, if John Dodson's 8 inches taller than him, like, how tall is that guy? You know what I mean? And it was Jay Glazer. It really was. Jay Glazer came walking in with 2 women who I thought were like 6'8", but turns out they were just like 6 foot tall. They just looked next to him that small or that tall. And then he was walking around with his chest puffed out, and I don't think he knew he was at a UFC party. Like he's walking around, like bumping into people, like looking around like a tough guy. And I told somebody there, I was like, dude, he's going to get his ass whipped if he keeps walking around like that. Like he's at the wrong party. Because when you're at those places, you know, you'll have John Dodson, which, you know, like guys will see him and think, oh man, like, you know, he doesn't look like a mean guy or whatever, but he would kill you even if you're a 200-pound man, you know what I mean, in a fight. So Glazer's walking around looking for trouble. And as God is my witness, what is the dude who used to come with the UFC entrances that was the funniest? He had the best entrance. He came in as Severn one time, came in as Hulk Hogan. Who is it?
Burt Watson?
No, it's
no. He came in dressed like a character, like Hulk Hogan one time.
Tom Lawler. Tom
Lawler, yeah. So I was there talking to Tom Lawler, and so like 20 minutes later, Tom Lawler gets a text. He goes, "Dude, I got to go. My friend just beat up Jay Glazer in the bathroom." So I knew like his friend that didn't look like a fighter either. You know what I mean? Like in there, but it was yeah, that was awesome. But that's why I'd never seen anybody. Dodson was jumping up on the tables, dancing. He was on the walls like Spider-Man climbing around. Like it was at a VIP place in Las Vegas. I don't remember what fight or what, but I was like, we didn't actually officially meet because he shook my hand, but he was singing the song that was playing while he shook my hand, introduced, kept going like on the table dancing. It was the most, not doing a table dance, but like just like dancing like, and no one was telling him to get down. It was so awesome. So
I gotta tell you, I want
every day of my life still to this day.
I want to party with you, brother. I want to hang out with you.
I've never seen anyone enjoying themselves as I do.
That's my kind of party right there.
Dude, are you kidding me? Like during his fight,
did you stuff a 5 or a 1 or a 10 in it?
I asked for change.
Dude, well, during his fights, he would laugh at people when they punched him. I never seen a guy laugh when someone getting punched in the face. Don, you ever laugh when someone punched you in the face?
No, I took it as an insult. You know, I mean, that was how dare you even conceive you can hit me? You know,
so
there it is, Trump.
So also on this card, Brandon Moreno, who's the champion, is taking on Pantoja, who beat him twice. He beat him 5 years ago. He beat him in the Ultimate Fighter when they were. He beat him twice. So he's 0-2 against him. I think that Pantoja might have his number in this one. Dodson, who do you like in this fight? John? Okay.
He's getting tired of you.
I know you guys are thinking, Adam, how do you have so much energy? You just go, 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 go. I'll tell you. Our next partner is AG1, which is the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day. Now, I gave AG1 a try because I was feeling run down. I'm like, ugh, can't do this with the kid and the wife and the career and just nonstop go, go, go. But I'm telling you, I am feeling so great. I got a boost in energy. I feel better. My support system in my body, it tastes great and I feel great. And I drink AG1 in the morning before working out, doing my fight camp, and it makes me feel unstoppable, ready to take on the whole day. Come on, day. Bring it, people. Okay. So I support this. I'm all for it. Okay. A lot of our athletes drink AG1. Okay. And because I know it's important for these fighters to take care of their bodies, not including Kelvin Gastelum. I'm kidding. Kelvin does it too. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/MMA Roasted. That's drinkag1.com/MMA Roasted. Check it out.
I saw a couple of baby chairs in the back of his car. Maybe he's changing the diaper or two. You know, shit.
No, that's where he's sitting.
Oh yeah, we lost him. He may be driving.
So Don,
who's probably taking Uriah Faber somewhere.
Don, who do you like in this fight?
Shit, I forgot who's fighting now. You already
Brandon
lost my memory.
Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja. How do we say this?
You know what's funny? When I was on TMZ that last time back in January, I think it was Brandon Moreno's one of his buddies had knocked my hat off and then I pinched their nose. So I'd be interested to see if I remember correctly and if I see them at the fight.
So this is your all right.
John told him live or die, man, and then he humped his nose like
normally we want like fight picks, predictions, and this is what we get. Brandon Moreno was that
Don Fry anecdotes.
Dan Moreno.
You don't want me to remember everything correctly, do you?
No, well, I was wondering who you thought was going to win. Not if somebody.
I think Moreno. Well, I like Moreno. He's 0-2 against the guy, so you gotta give the other guy some credit, man. Shit.
Right. He was at my comedy special, Moreno, and it was like him and like 9 guys from Mexico that didn't speak English, which is exactly who you want in the crowd. But
yeah.
Not Don. That's exactly who Don's looking for.
Greg, who do we like?
I can't win this.
Greg, who do we like, Greg?
Look, Moreno's gotten better fight after fight. There's improvement, skill game. Everything's gone up every single time. This is not the same guy that Pantoja faced the last time. And I think he definitively beats this guy this time and leaves no question.
Have you seen this guy fight, Pantoja?
I don't think so. But I know any rank like number 3 or number 2. I mean, he's up there. It's not like he's a soup can or anything.
He knocked out Islam. He like 2 weight classes up, and he beat Brandon.
Really?
He beat Brandon Royval easily. This dude is like
I'm telling you, this is a different Brandon Moreno. I think Brando wants. Yeah, and didn't we see this with Fahea? And who was he that he beaten twice, and then he lost to him recently? Was that Volkanovski? Yeah. No. Who was that?
You're talking about? Are you talking about what's his name? Israel Adesanya?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, the Izzy thing. So I think we're looking at. I think we're looking at the same thing. I think that it's going to be. I think he's absolutely going to go in there and destroy him this time. Just because Brandon, again, every single fight he's been getting better, and I expect nothing different this time.
This has something to do with a little bit of racism thrown in there now, is it?
Oh, completely. Obviously,
Okay.
as a Mexican, I have to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As long as we're honest.
Yeah. Sure, exactly. Come on. I have to support my Mexicanos.
You know, the funny thing is, Adam left out.
Mi hermano. I have to support mi hermanos.
Adam left out the part of the story that there was 9 Mexicans there with him, but they were all sitting at a table for 2. So they were very economic.
All right, this guy is 25-5, right? Pantoja, 25-5. He beat Alex Perez 1 round last time. Beat Royval last time. Before that, in 2 rounds. He beat Michael Kopp, who's really good. He lost to Askar Askarov, okay, and he beat Matt Schnell. He lost to Figueredo by decision. Beat Wilson Hayes. Beat Moreno before that. I mean, this dude's no joke. Where did he beat Islam? It said someone that he knocked out Islam. Is that possible that he knocked out Islam?
I was going to say I didn't hear that in the list.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch one of his fights, and it's gonna be against the guy whose last name is Cock, because I can't wait to hear the announcer try to talk through that one. Like, well, he's really getting Cock.
He's really beating that cock.
Yeah, it's like that guy. Remember my anus? You ever seen my anus? The guy that the announcer's like, my anus is really taking it tonight from like I guess the guy's last name is.
Okay, he didn't beat Islam. I'm an idiot. So everyone that's gonna hit me up and say he beat him. I don't know. Maybe I read some kind of troll thing that like he lost to somebody. Islam lost to Robert Martin. So don't hit me up. I don't care. I made a mistake. All right.
The real question is, why is John Dodson not in the UFC?
I don't know. That is.
I didn't want in case he got cut. I didn't want to say that, but I'm like, he's way more well known than any of these guys you're talking about. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You know.
It seems like his fighting style just works fantastically over in bare knuckle. Like he seems to be very happy over there. Like you said, he's making more. So, you know,
that's crazy.
I mean, because didn't he win the title in UFC? Didn't he hold it for a minute?
He won the Ultimate Fighter, and he fought Demetrius Johnson. I think it was like the first one was very controversial. Like he knocked him down like 3 times and still lost. And the second time he lost.
Okay.
But so all right. Now Dan Hooker is also on this card. He's fighting Jalen Turner. He's the guy that was scared of spiders, and now he has 4,000 spiders like tarantulas.
He's like
Why?
Batman
Why?
and Spider-Man in one story.
I told him he should like do like how Jake the Snake would like knock you out, put a snake on you. Like if he submits somebody, he brings in a bunch of spiders in the
yeah. Just dumps them on him.
And then Robert Whitaker is fighting Duplessis, this guy from South Africa. This is a good fight. Duplessis is he's the guy that he's been beating a lot of people. He beat Derek Brunson. He beat his last fight. He beat talking about the guy from England that's always missing. Duplessis. What's his name? Anyway.
No, I don't know.
Yes, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The guy who's always missing weight, and he's awesome, but he's always in trouble.
Missing one what?
Missing weight. He's always missing weight.
Missing weight.
Oh, weight.
Yeah.
Missing weight. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
So Duplessis is fighting. Yeah. So the whole card is actually that should be a good fight. Nico Price is fighting Robbie Lawler on this
Lawler
card.
fighting? I didn't know that. I didn't see this card. That's not that bad, I guess.
Yeah, this actually should be a very good card. This is a UFC. This is a 290. This is a pay-per-view. Big, this is a good one. So, and I like Whitaker, man. I like him on the come up. I like him on the comeback.
What was that, Don?
I like Whitaker also. I said, well, it's the fight for the International Fight Week, so they've got to have a good card. They got to cap off the week, right?
Exactly, totally.
Yeah, but you're right though. It doesn't have a John Jones or Conor McGregor feel to it.
I don't know why they should never do a main event and co-main event with the two lightest weight classes, or a woman's weight class and a lightweight class. Like that never seems to work out. Like the 125-pound titles, the main event or whatever. Like it just, I don't know, man. It seems like that's more like a co-main event or first fight on the preliminaries.
Yes.
Only because John Dodson's not on here right now.
So his name is Dricus Du Duplessis. His nickname is Phil Knox. He his last fight, he beat Derek Brunson. He beat Darren Till. That's what I was thinking about, Darren Till. He beat Brad Tavares. He beat Trevin Giles. His last, but
wait. Let me interrupt here. Isn't Robert Whitaker like the first fight on the card, or the last fight in the preliminaries?
No.
No. That's the championship fight.
No. He's the third fight.
Oh, Whitaker. No, yeah, you're right. Whitaker. I'm sorry. Whitaker's the third. Yeah, it's like the right before the.
That's stupid.
Why do you think?
It's fucking stupid. Huh? It's like when they put Cowboy Cerrone as the opening, when the guy took over from Joe Silva, and they put Cowboy Cerrone, as the opening fight. And then 3 fights later, he's fighting for the title. It's like, come on, guys. Get your shit together.
No, but the top 2 fights are title fights. I mean, you can't have those be underneath these guys. Even though I just think that's you're right. That could be like it's a 2 versus 5. It could be a headlining match in a fight night for sure. But I think for a pay-per-view,
why? It's an insult to put Robert Whitaker at that spot, just like it was an insult when they who are you just talking about? The bald guy now.
Volkanovski.
Robbie Lawler.
We just talked about him.
Robbie Lawler.
Huh?
Robbie Lawler.
No, the kid from Iowa. Yeah, Ronnie Lawler. Yeah, they had him opening one time. That's stupid. They have all this great talent, and then they try and shove it all on one card. And then they're forcing a guy who's a champion material open up the card, or else be the main event on the prelims. It's insulting and it's stupid. For a quality fighter like that, you save him for another show.
I don't know. I think if I'm going to lay the money down, this is exactly what I want. If I'm going to actually pay money to watch this,
you want Robert Whitaker. You want Robert Whitaker or Robbie Lawler to open up the show?
Well, he isn't opening it. He's the third fight. He's right in the middle. He's right in the middle of the card.
No, I like
So-
Don. Look, I understand what Don's saying. If a guy's more exciting and you know it's going to be like, Michael Chandler versus, let's say, Eddie Alvarez, and that's going to be a great fight, put it as the last fight. Just because the female is for a title shot or the flyweight for a title doesn't have to close the show. I think there is something to be said about.
I agree with that. In certain instances, we've seen where that's absolutely been true, where we're like, okay, but the other fight was definitely the better fight.
Yeah.
And the more watchable fight too.
The last time Rose fought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time
completely.
Rose fought. This looks like jumping up on the table and shitting on the birthday cake. It's just terrible.
We've all done that.
Also on the card is Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel's back.
Bo Nickel.
He's the guy that you thought Greg should have been not counted the last fight. Remember, he kneed the guy in the balls and then took him down. So Bo Nickel was supposed to fight this other guy who called him out in training. Anyway, that guy bailed out. Something happened, and now he's fighting a guy, Valentin Woodburn, on 5 days' notice. I've seen the guy fight though. He looks like a monster. He's a beast of a guy. But he's fighting Bo Nickel on 5 days' notice. Obviously, Don, you know what Bo Nickel is, right?
Yeah. Obviously, the best wrestler, collegiate wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's fighting on this card too. Now this is his fourth.
Come on,
fight.
I'm not that slow.
So he's but this is a dangerous fight for him because he's taking a guy that has nothing to lose, who's fighting on 4 days' notice, who he didn't train for.
Have you seen the odds?
What are the odds?
Bo Nickel's minus 1,300 right now.
That's what I was just trying to look up.
Woodburn is plus 750. I mean, listen, you want to throw a fiver down on somebody that might turn into $25 for you, throw it on Val Woodburn.
Dude, I just watched his fight. I went and watched his fight before the podcast. He's built like a brick shit house, and he just comes forward and he's strong as hell. That might not be a bad bet, especially if Bo Nickel has no idea who this guy is.
Right. I'm sure Bo Nichols. I'm sure Bo Nichols was smart enough to get somebody to scout him out for him. And Bo Nichols is actually obviously has. So what? You wrestle, in a tournament situation. You don't know who you're wrestling next. You get 20 minutes notice. So what? It's
true.
He's conditioned. He's a conditioned athlete. And he knows what's doing. The other guy doesn't have the chance for conditioning. He's got a chance for a lucky punch, but he doesn't have anything over 30 seconds.
I think I might put money on Valentin Woodburn. I'm telling you, I just watched.
We're talking about the same guy.
You still got to throw some money down. You still got to put something down. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, come on, it's a chance to win some easy cash.
God,
yeah,
damn.
fuck.
Sean, what are you saying?
I think Nichols is still going to put some money on the other
guy. How tall is Woodburn supposed to be? Because he looks in this video like he's like 4'10".
Yeah, he's very short.
Like it's not hard to look muscular when you're that small. Like it's like when you're 2 inches away from having to legally ride in a car seat, like you got to have abs. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on?
Also on the card is Alonzo Menafield, who he was the college football player, really good. Him and his brother went to 18 group homes in Los Angeles, and then this very, very nice Christian family took him in, and now he's doing great. So he's fighting Jimmy Crute. I think this is a rematch. The first one I think was a draw. So those
it was a draw. Famous and rich. Once he turns famous and rich, he'll hate Whitey. Yeah.
No. He doesn't hate. It was the white people. You don't know he's gonna hate Whitey. This is just insane. But like I said. All right. So before you guys came, Sean,
I'm talking LeBron James, and that other idiot who threw the football. With the big afro. Couldn't make the team, so then he sued the NFL.
I think he's about Colin Kaepernick. I don't think they hate Whitey.
That ass white.
So anyway,
come on! He's like number one on the I hate Whitey list, man. He's the president of the club.
So here's what happened. Sean, Don, I was on a cruise ship working, and then they flew me from Jamaica to LA, layover in New York. I get to New York. They're like, the flight's canceled. No more flights out tonight. Go wait over there. We'll email you. We have the best people working for us. The guy goes, it could be a couple days, right? So then, of course, I get.
Will we email you in a couple days?
Yeah, it could be an hour. It could be a couple days. I'm like, I'm not waiting over there. They gave me a $12 food voucher, right? I'm like, so then I end up like, they put me in a hotel. All the hotels are thing in the East Village, right? So not them, like the cruise ship company. And then I'm on the phone with them till 4 o'clock in the morning. And they outsource all these jobs to India. So I'm like, okay, can you fly me to Burbank? Yes, we have a flight to Birmingham. No, not Birmingham. Like, dude, I was. Dude, it was fucking crazy, bro. It was crazy. Then on the cruise ship, right? I'm in the elevator and I'm like late for the show because I forgot something. Dude, a couple in a wheelchair, a guy and girl, they both back in. So now I'm trapped against a wall. Like, I can't get out. I almost had to get up toes.
All you gotta do, all you gotta do is kick them out of the way. Okay.
Now that it's summer, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for sunny, active days. I know I am. Okay. And Factor, which is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Not number 2, #1. It can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered right to your door. You'll save time, you'll eat well, and you'll stay on track reaching your goals, okay? Are you too busy with summer plans to cook? I am. It takes me forever to cook, and I ruin the meals. But I want to make sure that I'm eating well, and so should you. Well, with Factor, skip the trip to the grocery store and skip the chopping and the prepping and the cleaning, okay? While still getting the flavor and the nutritional quality you need. The Factor is fresh, never frozen. Ew. Their meals are ready in just 2 minutes. That's right, 2 minutes. Although when I do stuff in 2 minutes, my wife complains, okay? But not with Factor. All you got to do is heat and enjoy, and then get back outside and soak up this warm weather. Vitamin D, all right? Looking for calorie-conscious options this summer? You can try the delicious, dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. That's nothing. You burn that off, I don't know, jogging, all right? You need an extra boost to support your wellness goals this summer? I do. We'll try the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein. Hell yeah. Get rough. Look at these guns, people, all right? So check it out. Check out Factor. Head to factormeals.com/roasted50 and use code roasted50 and get 50% off your first box. That's half off your first box. That's code roasted50 at factormeals.com/roasted50 to get 50% off your first box. All right. Check it out. You're going to thank me later. I got this cute dog. She's teething right now. But she's adorable. All right. No more biting. You got to get some chew toys. So thank you guys so much. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and check out Factor right now. Dude, then I go to the nightclub, right? And there's this really attractive girl. Like, hey, you're really funny. Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm leaving the nightclub, and she's so drunk, she passes out, right? I'm right behind her, and she passes out, but I have to catch her, right? And I'm behind her. So I got like double under.
How'd her tits feel?
Dude, I was trying to not find her.
She had real tits or fake?
I have no idea because I was like this. Because all I need is a picture of me holding a girl up.
Oh, bullshit.
I swear on my life. I was trying. I did not.
Are you sure it was like this or was it like this?
No. Dude.
You were trying.
I did, dude. She was heavy. I almost couldn't even get her, bro.
Fail when we try.
I almost couldn't even get her. I had to. It's hard.
Those tits are double D's, yeah.
Dude, oh fuck! It was dead weight. Dude.
Yeah, that was what Bill Cosby always said too. I was just trying to hold her up, like I just.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Dude, so then last night, Greg, I'm on stage and there's a guy in a wheelchair who's like, I think he was on meth or something. So I do a joke about Jesus. He goes, "Fuck Jesus," right? And so I go, "Hey, listen, sir, don't know that no, fuck Jesus, and Jesus forgave you for saying that, blah, blah." The guy gets up I guess he wasn't really in a wheelchair, but he got up from the wheelchair. He was sitting in a wheelchair, but he got up. He got up. He got up from the wheelchair.
So Jesus healed him.
Right.
Dude, he took out $500.
Jesus said, "Fuck you, fuck me."
He took out 5 $100 bills and throws them at me and goes, "You're hilarious," right? So then this lady in the crowd starts picking up the money, right? So then I think it's just like $5. Then the waiter comes over and goes, "No, that's for Adam." So I made $500 extra, and then he got thrown out of the club for being too drunk. So that was.
I'll tell you what, if your jokes were that good that it got him out of a wheelchair, I'd have gave you $500 too. There's been a lot of people that have been put in wheelchairs at Brendan Schaub's shows. Like they, I know people have been to Brendan Schaub's show that can't walk after doing it, seeing a set. So,
oh God. So, by the way,
you should use that as advertisement, Adam.
Exactly.
Like he healed the crippled.
Dude, did anyone see Creed 3?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you the plot line, right? So Creed 3, right?
Just might have to start at Creed 1 for me because I don't know.
Yeah. I saw Creed 1. I saw the first one and I'm like, man, these aren't Rocky movies.
Okay, just when you think, Sean, this, because while I'm watching this, all I keep thinking is I can't wait to tell Sean this plot line because, dude, Creed 3. So when he was in a group home, right? There was another boxer. Him and his best friends were boxers. The boxer was great, right? He was the best amateur champion, right? So then the guy beat him up in the group home. So they caught him outside of a 7-Eleven and started hitting him. And the guy that was the champion pulled a gun on him, right? That was when he was like 10 years old. So he goes to jail for 20 years for pulling a gun out, right?
Right.
So now Creed is the champion and he's the best in the world. He's retired. His friend gets out of jail, right? And he goes, "Hey, man, can you give me a shot?" So the first day, no one wants to work with him. He's old. He got out of jail. Within a week, he knocks out the champion in the fight. He sets up a fight for him. So now he's the best fighter, and he then knocks out the champion. He spent 20 years in prison.
Of course.
And then he challenges Creed to a fight. Because
you sure this isn't Black Panther you're talking about? It sounds very familiar. He just shows up and gets to fight for the title. Okay.
And then he turns on Creed, and he's the favorite. The guy that never had a fight before, that was in jail for 20 years, is a 3-1 favorite against Creed. Like,
well, he's undefeated with 100 fights, in prison. So,
dude, like, I'm like, what? And meanwhile, I'm watching this and I'm tearing up at certain times. I'm actually fucking. Not only am I invested in this movie, it's making me cry on the airplane. So just.
Yeah, I've been cried for whatever I paid to watch it from the sound of it. The Rocky movie.
I want my money back from the description.
Yeah, I text Adam all the time things I notice about like Rocky movies, and when you're an adult, you saw them when you're a kid, you didn't notice, but like we always talk about, how he pretty much date raped the retarded girl that worked at the shop, I was watching the other day, it was like. Just noticing like the stuff that he does or whatever, man, it's just so ridiculous. Like he put Paulie in charge of all his money somehow while he was in Russia with him. Like if anybody's safe with your fortune, it's an alcoholic. And then he has to switch to from southpaw to conventional because he's blind in that eye. But then Rocky 3, the eye is no longer an issue. Like it just. I like when Apollo's working with him and his trainers are like, "Dude, where have you been? You don't know anything about boxing." Meanwhile, Mick is dead. You know what I mean, or whatever. Like Mick worked with him for 10 years and didn't teach him a thing. Like no head movement. Like Mick was the worst, absolute worst boxer.
Well, Mick was having him chase a chicken.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got Mick never had me do this. Apollo's like, "Yeah, I know."
You choke it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the fights last week? The Sean Strickland fight.
Yes, and I do want to talk about that fight. Thank God we're finally getting around to it. Okay.
Did you see that Bruce Buffer threatened Sean Strickland?
No, yeah.
He didn't threaten him necessarily.
He sold Strickland if he keeps running his mouth, somebody's going to be getting their dick sucked.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
He didn't threaten him, he propositioned him.
So, Greg, what did you want to say about the fight?
Well, I mean, this guy, the Megaphone or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, something went wrong with this guy. I've never seen someone gas that fast, that bad. Unless I had been fighting, like this was horrible.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
you never saw Sean fight.
Obviously,
Yeah, exactly.
MTV
Since McCorkle was in the ring. This guy, I mean, literally, like in the second round, he just looked like towards the end of the first, I think maybe he got his nose broken or something and he couldn't breathe. But in the second round, he just looked like he wanted out of there so bad. He blew my parlay, is what I'm saying. And I literally just bet on the name because I was like, I had a Strickland vibe. I was like, I think Sean has a good shot. And I'm like, no, it's Russian Megaphone. Forget it. I'm betting on the other guy. And he ruined my fucking parlay. And then I'm watching, I'm like, but he just gassed out. What the fuck happened? Did you guys see that?
That was weird. And they were hyping him up and he was talking all this shit. But something, so I don't know if you guys watched the interview of of Strickland before the fight. I'm going to play it for you guys. You guys want to hear it? So Sean Strickland is a national treasure. So they ask him about the fight, and this is what he says:
Americans, we need to go back to like taking women out of the workforce, and maybe that's where we fucked up, you guys. We let women vote. No offense, but
no offense. No offense.
Think about America prior to women voting. They try to ban alcohol. I don't drink, but I'm not trying to ban alcohol. So what you did, man, you let these women come in the workforce. Now we make less money. You got kids raising themselves on fucking TikTok. We need to go back to like 1942, especially after, maybe 1958 after we fucked up the Germans. We need to put women back in the kitchen. We need to take fucking.
Oh my God.
One man needs to be working. So I think as a collective man group, we need to elect somebody that's going to put women back in the kitchen, put one man working, raise the wages, and build a fucking wall. Have you ever thought about going to therapy, Sean?
Meanwhile, so
have you thought about going into therapy, Sean? That's the best.
Meanwhile, my wife saw this and said, "I'll go back in the kitchen. Fuck working." So there are a lot of people that said that think he has a good point. I'm not for taking away women's right to vote, but I think what he's trying to say that
I think we should compromise and give him 3/5.
I agree with him.
Let's compromise and give him 3/5 of a vote, like the old days.
No 3/5 of a vote, Sean. I do get that. But I think he's trying to be funny. And
I'm not sure that he is. I think he's very serious.
Yeah, I feel like he really put it out there, like, right, guys? Right. This is one of those moments where you're expecting everyone to be like, fuck yeah. And instead, the guy goes, have you thought about getting into therapy?
So this was his second interview. Now, this is after the fight. This is after the fight.
Second round, you really turned up the heat. Was that calculated or just something you felt in the moment?
Here's the thing about my dick, you guys. It stays hard for a long time. I don't always finish, but that motherfucker stays hard.
That's definitely not the question I asked at all.
Oh, no. I'm getting there. And he came out hard. It went limp fast. You're going to come out hard, bro. You better stay hard.
Second round.
He doesn't always finish.
Yeah. Sometimes he fakes it.
So exactly. Sometimes he just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and be hard for a while. I'm good. Thanks.
I feel like we got to give him a title shot based on these. Him versus Israel would be the funniest lead up to the. I mean, come on, Greg, your thoughts on Sean Strickland?
Hey, listen. This guy's he's a fighter.
Dude, he was like, someone asked him about his weight cut. He starts talking about fat chicks. He's like, yeah, I'll like their photo. And then they show up and I'm like, damn, that girl's fat. Like, it had nothing to do with the question. He's not even like, McCorkle, thoughts on Strickland?
I don't know what I got released more or less. I was told for making a joke online saying I don't support, I hate racism and interracial dating are two things I don't agree with, or whatever. Like right. I don't know why you can say whatever you want now. Mitch Rion got fined $25,000 for calling that trans lady that was beating up girls Buffalo Bill. That's all he said. Like it was because I don't remember. There was the first.
Yeah. Fallon Fox.
Yeah, but I don't think Fallon Fox had actually transitioned. I think he was just dressing like a woman, like it was a man fighting. You know what I mean? And like I don't even think he pretended to have taken hormones or anything. Like, and they were like, and yeah, Mitch Rion said, I can't believe they're letting a man beat up women at Buffalo Bill, and he got fined $25,000 by the UFC. So,
I think it's about numbers now.
I was going to say, but also for all we know, he did get fined. I mean, we don't know.
Who?
You know? Yeah.
No, he didn't get fined. They would have announced it and like.
Oh, they would have announced it if they did.
I think Colby and Chael. I think they just figured, you know what, guys, it's all about selling tickets, and you know what?
Right. You say some outrageous shit, then great, sell some tickets, and so they don't care no more.
I kind of think that in a way. So also last week, who looked great was my buddy Grant Dawson, who's a guy that was working at an old age home with Don. Actually, no, he was working. He was working at an old age home as a chef. He's a great guy, and now he's like 16-1, I think, or 16-0. He's a straight killer. This guy
in the old folks home.
No, yeah, in the old folks home. And
he was undefeated there too.
Yeah, he was known as the Angel of Death.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you ever hear that story?
80s, you know.
There was a story that like there was a cat in a hospital that every time the cat came to someone's room, they died like 2 days later. And everyone was like, "Oh, this cat knows when I'm like, maybe the cat's fucking killing people." You know, like
they found out Sean McCorkle. Sean McCorkle would go in there later that night and jab him with the needle.
Dude, you're not kidding. Sean told an interview person that he killed his grandma with a pillow, and it made German television. Like a fucking...
Yeah. No, I just said that actually reminded me earlier. I was dating a girl one time, and her mom told her, "Do you know he admitted to smothering his grandma with a pillow to end her suffering at the end of cancer?" And they were asking me about it. I told them, "Guys, this is actually on film." I said, "Guys, I was just joking. I actually chased her around the house with a hatchet until she died of a heart attack." And then,
oh my God,
I had to go to court. Shortly after that, I had to go to court because I stole her handicap parking pass. So, like, I was using it like, that's like what I inherited. So, a cop saw me get out of a car at the mall, parking handicap, and get out. And he goes, "Is that your handicap pass?" I was like, not exactly, because I thought he was going to scan it or something. I didn't want to lie to him. And I said, "My grandma just died." And he said, "You're not allowed to do that." I was like, "Yeah, but if I don't use it, it's like she died for nothing." And, he gave me a ticket. I tried to go to court to get out of it, and I ended up having to pay double, like whatever, like 60, then another 60. For, I wanted to say that in court, but I didn't get a chance to. I wanted to tell that. I thought
I'm amazed that you didn't. I would have thought.
He didn't get.
I would have thought you would have opened with that.
It's what she would have wanted. That's what I told people.
By the way, can we talk about the fact that I think the Ultimate Fighter, all Conor McGregor's.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
First, so Grant Dawson wins this fight, Don, and after he goes, I just want to say to my wife, "I love you, bitch." He goes.
He must have been fighting.
He goes, "I love you, bitch," and people were like, "Did he just say I love you, bitch?" So then Kevin Lee, fucking poor Kevin Lee. So Kevin Lee gets cut from the UFC. He fights Diego Sanchez in Eagle FC. I think he tore both his ACLs during the fight. They let him back in the UFC last week. He fights this fucking murderer from Dagestan who's like 21-1. I mean, they put him against a straight killer who knocks him down and chokes him out in under 1 minute. And now Kevin Lee's cut again. Whoever is Kevin Lee's manager, fuck, man. That was
he's an idiot. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah. Well, did he still have the two blown tendons?
No, his knees were fine, but they could have at that point, like, give him a Jim Miller. Give him somebody, give him a
I'm joking. Jim Miller is
Sean McCorkle.
Give him
Jim Miller's going to be like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Give him somebody who can't fight, like Jim Miller.
Give him Court McGee or Matt Brown. Not everyone can't fight, but somebody that's also a little bit up there that, like, you could see test him. Don't give him a 25-1 fucking savage who's fucking 124 fights from Dagestan that no one's heard. Jesus.
Dude, I told you what they did to me for my initial fight. I said no to their initial offer because they wouldn't give me an opponent. I said, "I want to know who I'm fighting." And they're like, "Well, why?" And I said, "Because I'm not getting served up to some 20-0 monster to make him look good." You know what I mean? Or whatever. Yeah. And they were like, "Well, it'll be another first-time UFC guy." The ones we're considering first time in the UFC. And I was like, "Oh, okay, so it'll be another guy, like 8-0, like I was or whatever." And then the contract came across, said Mark Hunt. And I'm just sitting there, keep staring at it, looking or whatever. I'm like, so I text my agent. I said, "I know that's not Mark Hunt from Pride, right? Like, it's Mark Hunt from Oklahoma or something, like some white kid or whatever." And he was like, "Well, but if you get him off his feet," I was like, "But if I don't, You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like that's what. But they do, man. They do that. It's so sad that they do that because they really do just use. They got Paul Bradley. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was probably 3-1 in the UFC, 3-2. They talk him into cutting 30 pounds in 4 days to be a last minute replacement. He does it, and he said, "Hey, is this going to count against me if I lose? Because I'm barely going to make the weight, and it's going to be real hard." No, we just need a favor. So he goes in, wins, but they give a bad split decision to the other guy. Then they cut him the next day. They cut Paul Bradley after he lost 30 pounds in 4 days to do that, and he got ripped off on the decision, and then they still cut him. So he was just
listen. No good deed goes unpunished. This is an idiom that proves itself over and over. Every time you do somebody a favor, they just fuck you. So it's almost not even worth it. You got to really judge who you do your favors for.
Then this guy that looked like a murderer, this guy Romanov, who was going out and murdering people, who lost his last 2 fights. He looked fat as fuck. I mean, the guy had a belly that just, it was like he made Roy Nelson look anorexic. That's how fat this guy was.
Oof.
Then he wins this fight.
Oh, yeah.
You've been saving that one. You've been saving that one for a long time, haven't you?
I just made it up. He wins his fight. He gets a black belt for some reason, even though there was no grappling at all during the fight. It was the entire fight was on the feet. They give him a black belt.
Probably to keep his pants up. I would guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably when he's in there training, they're seeing his ass hanging out like a plumber, and they're like, "Dude, here's a."
I said it was a white belt covered in chocolate. It wasn't even. It was crazy. And then he goes, "King Kong is back," which. None of it made any sense. But Greg, as you were saying, so on The Ultimate Fighter, which I only watched the first 2 episodes, so I can't really talk about it. Have you been watching all the episodes, Greg?
No, but I've seen maybe I have. I've seen 3 or 4 of them now. So I think there's one. I think I'm 1 episode out from being caught up.
So to catch you guys up, it's Conor McGregor is coaching the newbies, the new guys, and Michael Chandler is coaching the veterans, right? The guys who were in the UFC that something went wrong and now they're trying to get back.
That seems fair. Brand new guys versus guys that are war tested for years in the UFC.
So now McGregor, there's been 6 fights and McGregor has won none of them. He's 0-6. He might go down as the worst coach in the history, but he's not coming across that bad. It's just he's guys that have had like 5 fights in the UFC. Versus guys that have never been in the UFC.
Yeah, but when you think one of them would have come through, I think what you see is that Conor was definitely more of an instinctual fighter than a technical fighter, and there's some things he can't teach. And I also think you see that Conor is more motivational than he is hands-on, whereas Chandler is in there with them on the ground day after day, hour after hour, and Conor's wearing a suit a lot of the time, just kind of like just cheerleading. And I think you really just see that he's just not much of a coach.
I also think that Chandler comes from a wrestling background, which is a team sport.
Wait. Let me come to his defense. Okay. I was a coach in that IFL thing. Okay. And let me tell you something. You cannot turn a turd into a rocket ship. All right, that's all there is to it.
Damn it!
When you're trying to,
but you can
do that for years.
But you can turn one into a submarine, though. Into a submarine, you can. So now here's what happened.
And then it'll implode.
So here's what happened yesterday on The Ultimate Fighter between McGregor and Chandler.
Come on, get out of here, you two.
So this is all right. So Chandler and McGregor finally came to blows, kind of.
Me, I'll stack them up. Not against me, no. Good job, great work. Stacking them up, baby. Not against me and not Michael, yeah. Some of these kids are in the UFC before you're in the UFC. So don't be start trying to say you got this and that. As long as you show up for them, maybe if you showed up for them, maybe your nose, you little fool. Come on. Yeah, well, you want a little Benadryl take, you little take. You want to Oh, we're gonna do this? We're gonna fight right now? Get out of my way. Let's go, baby.
Conor McGregor grabbed my face and pushed me. I'm ready to fight right there if it goes down.
Come on, get out of here, you two. Hey, we're gonna keep stacking them up, baby. We're gonna keep stacking them up.
All right, so it didn't seem like he was ready to fight. He just went like woo woo when the guy pushed him. So
that's how you know when Ric Flair's ready to fight. I don't know what to do. It's just good to see that Conor keeps putting the coke into coach. Like he's still He's still, dude. He is on. Have you seen it? I know you've seen the way his face has changed.
Yeah.
I don't know how many IUs of HGH he's taken a day, but it takes a lot to change your face, man. Like I think eight IUs a day, which is 3 times the recommended dose, and my face didn't get bigger. So
okay, but isn't Connor supposed to fight Chandler at the end of the series? Like,
what happened is he's not been drug tested yet. He refuses to get drug tested. Now, okay, we have to talk about the Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg fight. I think it's going to happen. So Elon Musk has been training with GSP and Danaher and that whole death squad, but Zuckerberg's been training for, I don't know, a couple years, a year or two, and I still think Zuckerberg's going to win this fight. He's the favorite.
Yeah.
I like Elon Musk better than
You're
Zuckerberg.
out of your fucking mind.
What do you think Elon Musk is going to win?
Yeah, I saw the takedown that Zuckerberg did against his training opponent, you know? I mean, that was the most pathetic fucking form of pro wrestling I've ever seen in my life. That guy started going to the ground before Zuckerberg was 6 inches away from him, you know? It was like, don't forget, grab the leg first and then I fall down.
But didn't he win? Didn't he compete in jiu-jitsu and place in some tournaments or something? Or
yeah, he lost in a 2-person division and made them redo the match so he could win.
Oh, really?
He said no, restart. We're going another round so he could win the referee decision or something. I don't think it'll happen. I think Musk is going to pull out as soon as they find out you can't turn a turd into a rocket ship. Musk is going to be like, dude, forget this. I'm only in this to build another rocket. So
now I've been looking forward to hearing Greg Wilson. I've been actually, ever since this fight was talked about, I can't wait to hear what Greg thinks about this. For real. Greg, what do you think about this?
I'm sure thrilled.
I was going to say, I kept thinking it was a joke. I thought people had made up these memes and shit. I was like, they're not actually going to fight. And I stand by that. I don't think they'll ever actually fight. I think someone will pull out and something, like, oh, I got to go check on my rocket ship. And then they'll just disappear. And I don't think it ever actually happens.
Well,
I think it shows where we're at in this country when we're taking one of the only geniuses alive on this planet and trying to give him CTE. Like, I think we're trying to one of the smartest men alive. Let's go see if we can get him kicked in the head and see if we can't just ruin whatever he's got going. The only hope we have for a future.
According to his mom,
bring him down to everybody's level instead of everybody going up to his level.
Right,
bring him down to ours. Yes.
Not so smart now, are you, Elon? When he's in a wheelchair talking like a robot.
Well, according to his mom says he can't do it. His mom says he's not allowed to do it. Elon Musk's mom. He has. By the way, he has 10 kids. So he has 10 kids from like 4 different women. One of the kids hates him, right? Like it's a trans. She's a trans. I guess it was born a male, became a female. Hates Elon Musk.
That's a chick with a dick, Don. In case of your language, just so you know.
Won't take his name. Won't take his name. That's how you know, like. Like if my cousin waited tables on a Musk, I would take the name, right? Like won't take his name. And also, so they asked Elon about it. He goes, what about the kid that hates you? He goes, can't win them all.
Take his money though.
I've
always told everybody that
is it going to be in VR? Is it going to actually happen, or is it going to be a VR fight? And also, they're both going to send in some kind of AI robot to do the fighting. It's going to be some replicants that we don't even know about.
Yeah, like the armies. Like the armies used to do.
Yeah, it's not going to be that. It's going to be some robot
to fight. Yeah.
Well, I like how Dana White's like, we don't do gimmick fights, and then a week later he's like, I spoke to both of them, and they're in.
I did. Hey, I did hear you guys. I don't know if you know this or not. I heard that Elon Musk is Don's favorite African American fighter. So.
Grand slams, no hitters, and double plays are back. That's right, and there's no better place to get on the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official partner of Major League Baseball. And guess what, people? New customers in Massachusetts get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed, when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston. And finally, You can bet on all your favorite sports, from the money line to point spreads to player props and more. I love it, okay? If I'm going to bet, I'm going to go on FanDuel. So now, bet on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't miss your chance to get $200 of bonus bets. Win or lose. How great is that? Okay? Visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more. That's FanDuel, the official partner of Major League Baseball. You got to be 21 and older and present in Massachusetts. Okay, your first online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable. And bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Help is here. So is hope. Hope and help. GamblingHelpLineMA.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com or call 1-800-GAM-1234. That's FanDuel. Check it out now. Right now. You want to bet? That's where you go.
That sounds right.
He's from Africa. That's a great joke, in case you guys didn't know.
That is a good joke. That is a good joke. Now, over the weekend, Roy Jones did fight NDO champion.
In the metaverse?
Yes. We have the footage. A lot of people feel ripped off about this. I will show you guys what happened.
Was the NDO belt up for grabs or not?
So here's what happened. People paid for this.
Oh my God. Well, this is on them. They don't know where each other are.
And he's warning him and he's asking him what to continue. Even in the metaverse, there is controversy. Yeah. And you can see the controversy from all angles.
What? It's over. It's over, guys.
His cartoon couldn't take the beating? I'm so confused.
Greg, what was that?
That is proof that civilization is fully going backwards.
They couldn't even make it.
No, our advance towards the future has ended, and we are now just fighting cartoons. Okay, you know what? I'm ready to believe. I'm ready to take the blue pill. I would rather live in a real hell than in this fucking whatever version of reality we're stuck in now. We're fucking cartoon, and people feel ripped off. You should. I feel like every person that paid to see that should be, unfortunately, round up and shot. They don't deserve to live. They're not smart enough to this is dumb. What were they thinking?
I love that there was a cartoon and it still wasn't a good fight. like they drew it and it still wasn't any good.
And how do you gas out in VR? Like you're not even. Did your thumbs get tired? What happened? None of this makes any sense.
It's still held installed.
I literally thought you made that up like that was a joke, but I guess that really was the fight. Like I thought that was a punchline. Like I thought, here it is.
That looks like one of those cartoons they make for a court appearance where there's no footage available, so they have to do a shitty little reenactment.
Reenactment of a terrible boxing match.
Totally, exactly. This should be in the lawsuit of the viewers.
Yeah, people are saying there's going to be a lawsuit. A class action lawsuit against that because they thought they were getting a real fight, and then
if you think about it, they never promised what it was going to be. Even we couldn't figure out what it was supposed to be. Like what are they? Man,
I want to see the fighters in their control units fighting. That's the footage I want to see with their little fucking suits with all the ping pong balls on it, just swinging away in their garage or whatever. I have no idea.
So if you guys also at a jiu-jitsu tournament over the weekend, it's getting crazy out there. Sean, did you ever compete in a tournament, jiu-jitsu, Sean?
I did, yeah. It was funny because I thought it was I didn't know that you're supposed to kind of be nice during grappling tournaments. So I was a white belt and I went out and picked the first guy up and slammed him and knocked him out. I thought it was I thought it would just go as rough as you want. And then
you thought you were supposed to win?
Yeah, like no one wanted to grapple with me after that. Like I just won by division by forfeit for everybody. Like, no, I'm not going with that dude. And I didn't know that you were like I thought it was like a fight without punches. Like I didn't know. So yeah, I only did a couple of them. But nobody wanted to wrestle with me after that. So
Well, Greg, Sean, Don, you guys see this?
That's called jujitsu. Yeah.
Don, you got to see this one. So this happened over the weekend. You got to look at the guy right here. I don't know if you can see my. So this dude, actually, this guy right here.
Oh, yeah.
He's
and out into oh shit.
Well, that'll do it.
He thought it was a WWE tournament.
The guy went through a table.
Yeah.
Now, if you throw someone through a table, should you get points for that? Or
I think that's an automatic win. Yeah, if someone goes to the table, I think that's.
And I believe you're supposed to get hit with a glitter gun.
I did. I did when I was doing judo. Back when I was competing in judo before the UFC, I ran some guy right into the bleacher wall, and he couldn't continue, so I won.
Wow. Yeah, but was that an accident or on purpose, though?
I don't know. I mean, the bleacher wall was right
That was
there.
like on purpose.
The lawsuit's still
Referee
pending.
didn't
The
stop
lawsuit's
it.
still pending.
Yes. It wasn't my job to stop, I mean, my job to compete. The referee should have gotten between us and the wall.
Yeah, I hear you. By the way, if you guys want to get depressed, watch Dark Side of the Ring, right? It's about all these wrestlers from the 80s. And it's everyone's bad. And it all ends up with either suicide, death, or drug overdose. The new one on Doink the Clown. Have you seen the one on Doink? So Doink the Clown. Have you ever wrestled with Doink the Clown, John?
I knew one of them. I don't know.
Yeah, the first one. They replaced him. The first one was he was like on crack and drugs and he's just depressed and showed up all fucked up. He was a good wrestler, and they made him to a clown.
Was his name Ray?
No, it was the guy before them.
Wait, was the name Ray?
It wasn't Ray. They replaced him with Ray. That was what he got really upset about that because they just took away his gimmick and gave it to another guy.
I knew Ray
as the clown. And yeah, man, the rest in peace.
And listen, if you guys want to collect disability, get between Don Fry and a wall. He's like, the referee should have gotten between us and the wall. I'm like, I think I'm sidestepping that one. It's just calling a foul.
So what's awesome is Adam got me hooked on the Dark Side of the Ring. Like those, like you kept talking about how awesome they were. I watched one on my phone the other day. It was just a short clip on YouTube. I actually ended up finding the full episode and sitting just on my stairs and watching. I was so entranced. I can't remember even who it was about. I don't think it was The Ultimate Warrior because I watched that one too. But I watched one about another wrestler, and their stories, man, their life stories are crazy.
It's so crazy. Like, Greg, we think comedy is rough. It's like comedy times 100 as far as like roughness. Like I've had many rough nights comedy, booed off the stage, thrown out of clubs, looking
kicked in the balls,
couldn't afford to eat, kicked in the balls, isn't that? Man, these guys had it rough. Damn. So anyway,
now what platform is it on? Where would I see it?
It's on Viceland or Vice.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could see him on like YouTube.
Ironically.
Viceland, yeah. No shit, it is.
So we're talking about guys who went through the wall, right? So I was watching the LFA last week, and they got to make their cages better because watch what happens.
Oh yeah.
For me, huge influence both in and out of the cage.
And bye. Okay.
Don, look at this.
For me, huge influence both in and out of the cage. And speaking of out of the cage,
I love that he said in and out of the cage as it was happening.
Yeah.
In 157 events.
You think after 30 years, you think that happened in one of the first UFCs, right? It happened in one of the first UFCs. You think after 30 years they could fix the cage?
Did they just not lock the cage? Is that what happened? And then the door
Probably,
opened
yeah.
up?
They've got it's almost like a I don't even know how you'd explain it, like a semi door, they got this latch you lock, and they probably just forgot. But I think I told you, Adam, I can't remember. My brother, when I was going to fight Mark Hunt, my little brother's like, dude, you're going to get murdered, right? And I was like, well, I'm going to try. He goes, this is what you ought to do. Let him hit you with a leg kick first thing, and then just scream, oh my God, and take off run and climb, like run out of the cage and run out of the arena. He said, like, just run, like all the running out of the arena. He said, I guarantee you'll be able to get like a commercial out of that, like Peter McNeely with the getting knocked out by the turning the pizza around, or whatever. But my brother was dead serious. He was like, dude, the first time he hits you, just take off running and be like, fuck this, and take off running, climb, jump out of the cage. And go dude, there was a guy. You're gonna lose anyway, and I was like, "Thanks, man. Like, thanks for the
way to build your confidence going into the fight, bro."
Yeah, Sean, it's funny that you say that because look at what happened in an actual boxing match. This happened. I think I saw this live on like back when it was FS.
I love one is Adam on stage at TK's. The next is the fight.
The guy walks out. Okay, so the fight hadn't started yet. The guy just walks out.
And Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring. One cannot believe I've never seen this before. He walked out of the ring. He's not fighting.
Yeah, he was like, no. He didn't need $500 that bad.
I can't believe all those empty seats are booing.
Right. That's weird. Yeah.
I mean, what we got to find out the backstory on that. You think he just?
I think it's like, have you heard where Mike Tyson does his thing?
I gotta go.
All right.
All right. See you, Don.
Don Fry, we enjoyed
Don, hit
watching
me up
the
when you
pack,
get to
buddy.
Vegas. Don, hit me up if you want to meet up later in Vegas.
All right, call me. Bye-bye.
What were you saying, Sean?
I was saying, like, you ever heard Mike Tyson's thing? Like, he goes, like, I'm afraid as I'm walking to the cage, I get more confident. That whole speech Tyson gives about that. And he goes, I step in, I'm a god. No one can beat me. I think that guy's thing is he gets more confident. He steps in and decides, I don't think I can beat this guy, and walks back out.
That was crazy.
Like, no.
Either that or he really wanted to embarrass the promoter and said, it's like, I'm gonna make everyone hate you.
Dude, I don't care what anybody says, or maybe I'm just a coward. Every fighter that's fought in UFC has thought about doing that before the fight started. Like every time before the fight started, I thought, I don't have to do this. Like, I can literally leave right now. They can't make me do this. It was usually right before I walked out in front of the crowd. Like, I'd be thinking, because you start thinking, dude, what if I lose an eye? Like, what if I die tonight? What if I get crippled? What if I hurt my back and I go through a series of doctors and countries for years and can't get it fixed and it ruins your whole life? Things like that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, legitimate. And for all we know, he just really had to take a piss, I mean, and he was thinking to himself, one shot to the stomach and I'm pissing myself in front of these people. Fuck it. I'm out.
So Tito Ortiz did a new movie with Cyborg called Operation Black Ops. He will finish the mission. So it's Operation Black Operation.
Operation Black Operations. Yeah. Brilliant. I feel like Tito came up with that title himself.
And then what's this? This was the a punch that Aldana threw against Nunez. Like,
almost landed. I guarantee you she won't come rushing in on her when that's out there.
Like, what? I mean, what is that? What is that? That was just crazy. So yeah, Operation Black Operations, Tito Ortiz. Greg, what do you got coming up?
Coming up this week, I'm going to be at TK's Comedy Club in Dallas, Texas, man. Thursday through Sunday. So come out and see me there. I'm also teaching my crowd work workshop on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. So hit me up online if you're interested in taking the workshop. And then the week after that, I'm going to be at the LA Comedy Club in Laughlin. Their new one at the Edgewater Casino in Laughlin. So next week, catch me there. What is that? The 12th through the 16th, something like the 12th through the 16th. All right. So that's what we got on dead days.
And Sean, what do you got?
I'll be searching for a new doctor because my doctor just moved to South Carolina on 1 month notice. My pain management doctor just said, oh, by the way, I'm not going to treat you more. I'm moving.
I think he did it to get away from you.
Probably right. I was like, okay, so you're going to like refill my prescriptions and everything? I can give you a month's worth. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't really help me out. Like I go to everything for this doctor. Just moved out on a month's notice. But I did see your buddy Jay Moore before I get off here. I want to tell you, Jay Moore was on The Fighter and the Kid. And he asked Brendan Schaub, after Brendan Schaub pissed his pants and then put his hand on it and licked it and tasted it, for some reason, he pissed his pants. Yeah, there's clips of it online. I'll send it to you. Like Brian Callen asked him why he has pee on his pants. And he's like, oh, is it? He was like, yeah, I don't know. And he like puts it up and like licks it, like on his hand, like or whatever. I don't know. Jay, or what's his name? Jay Moore said, "Why does everyone hate you?" Like to Brendan Schaub or whatever. He's like, "Dude, I don't know what's going on, but like, is it like a joke between you and your fans that they all hate your guts?" And Schaub's just like, "They aren't fans, or whatever." But it was really, he's been DMing me. Brendan Shaw's been DMing me from a Twitter burner account trying to say, "You guys should just talk. You could probably work things out, or whatever." And I was like, "You never played in the NFL." Like, that's all I respond. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm serious, bro. Like, maybe I could put in a good word for him. Maybe he could get you on some of his open for him or whatever." And I was like,
"You got to start your own. Forget Brendan Schaub. You got to start your own YouTube thing where you review movies from the 80s and 90s, like you were telling me."
It's in the works. I haven't told anybody, but I've got, dude. I'm putting together a highlight reel of my most killing my grandma things I said in an interview, and I've almost got it done. I'm teaching myself how to use iMovie myself, like as I go, and so I've got it almost done, and then I'm almost afraid to I don't want to release it because I'm going to have grandchildren one day, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And dude,
that ship's already sailed.
Oh yeah. I was watching it and I was thinking, dude, I said I would do gay porn on this one. I said on this one that I killed my grandma. Like I said on this one that I hung out with R. Kelly one night and he was dressed like Zorro. Like it just keeps it gets weirder and weird. And I was just like, dude, I don't know, man, if I want to put that.
And I'm assuming these are all from this podcast.
No, sadly, this stuff is 10 or 12 years old and I didn't know it was going to hang around. Like I didn't know back then that YouTube was going to stay around. So it is, dude, it's I'll send it to you guys.
Classic, and you got to do it because the world needs more McCorkle.
I'm going to get my 3 strikes on YouTube on one video. I think is what I'm going to get.
Sounds right. Yeah, I believe that.
You're gonna be like the Dwight Gooden. It's just cake.
You're gonna be suspended. You're gonna get suspended from YouTube before it finishes processing.
So I will be at TK's Comedy Club as well. July 20th to the 22nd, I believe that is Thursday,
nice.
Saturday. And thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Take care.
Yeah, man.